President Yoweri Museveni, as we speak now, for the last 1 year, has been having a nationwide, literally, campaign soliciting sole candidate endorsement. He has gone to every region, met NRM structures, met political party leaders, met everywhere, and everywhere he has gone, he has been not only using public resources to tunes of trillions of shillings, even right now is in some bushes, walking around, in a way, literally campaigning. Therefore, after 35 years in power, and with all the resources he has, he fears to compete. And therefore, what we conceive from the police perspective, the police force in this country is turning out to do a lot of political work for the NRM. But an open ground can facilitate a consultation, because this is meant to be an exchange between a candidate and the people, soliciting views, to move backward and forthward in terms of arguments. What is wrong with having put there a tent and people coming to sit in a tent? I was part of those people who are organizing the reunions. They were in a huge tent and they were peaceful. So what we are seeing is that having stopped Kyagulanyi from holding music concerts, they have again stopped him from moving anywhere. They've again literally stopped him from appearing on any TV and on any radio station. They are now going ahead to say you cannot even consult. So we are asking the Electoral Commission whether the law they are supposed to supervise, whether the law they are supposed to see and apply, whether the police is not abusing that law. Because we wrote and abided by what the law says, and they are simply saying you cannot go. But let me also salute the people of Uganda, and especially the gallant young men around Kasangat, who have done everything humanly possible to ensure that these things go on. And we invite you in your hundreds. Tomorrow, we will set off in the morning. We are proceeding to Gulu. Those who have borders, those of us who have cars, those of you who can go by buses, please, the venue tomorrow is Gulu. And that's where we are going to be. After Gulu, we are going to Rila. And after Rila, we will go as per the schedule. We expect, let them now do what they want to do. We expect the police to play their part. We have respected them. We have given them due notice. And the law is very clear. We give them notification. We don't seek permission. But they are moving as if by notifying them, literally, you are seeking permission. 2, the law says, for the police to cast a gathering, the following must take place. First, they can only, if you write to them and they have issues with the venue, okay, that a venue has been booked by another person, or it will interfere with the flow of traffic, they are supposed within 48 hours to write it to you back. 48, 24? 24 hours. Invite you for a meeting. A meeting that is intended to discuss an alternative venue or date. It is after that, because the law is very clear, if they write and they don't write back, 1, they refuse to receive the letters. So many DPCs across, they have refused to sign that they have received these letters. Once they have not received, they deny to give you a letter, because they know the moment they give you this letter, the law permits you to go to a magistrate court straight to make your case, where the police will come and defend itself. They should deploy them. Yeah. They should deploy metal detectors. They should deploy what are they talking about? Sniper dogs. Deploy them that way. We don't need the tear gas and the anti-riot machinery. They can deploy those ones and ensure that people peacefully move. Does who is the Inspector General of Police, Ochola and Muzei, tell us that we did not give them the budget to do this needful? So it cannot be the responsibility of an organizer. By the way, if we accept these stupid standards, even people who are standing for parliament, for lower council elections, they will not meet them. Because they will tell you deploy metal detectors, sniper dogs. Do they even have all of them across the country? So these are ridiculous conditions that they are not even in the law. They're not even in the law. They're not even in the law. Even NRM cannot meet these standards. For instance, President Museveni is touring the country. Is he having sniffer dogs as he walks? The other day he was meeting the people in Central Region at Rugogo. Were there all those other fireworks, ambulances, blah, blah? They were not there. The other day, FDC had a meeting. General Mugisha Muntu has been moving around the country. What they ought to make is that there is a new kid on the block. He is very powerful, and they want to stop him in his tracks. Actually, these conditions are an admission of the power and the strength of Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi and the health of his candidature for presidency. Therefore, it's more of a sign of encouragement than saying they are fearing. Therefore, my humble appeal to the people of Uganda and all good-seeking people that I think we are living on a new day. We can count the few months to a new president who will be Honorable Robert Kyagulanyi from Kyadondo East. And what we expect the police forces to do is to enable a peaceful transfer of power. We assure them none of us is a trained police officer or a cadet, so we are not going to take their positions. They remain inspector generals of police. They remain. None of us, by the way, has been to a military school. So they should not fear, which they are going to stay in their employment. So they should not have that fear that once Museveni goes, their positions are gone. This Nyanzi here or Katana here, this one is a lawyer, this one is a musician, this one is from Yale University. There is no one who has gone to Sandhurst to train military science. No, we have not gone to Cuba or where they. I know who is training them, by the way. The tactics that apply in North Korea. You know, our core police force gets consultants training from North Korea. We are not living in a dictatorship like that of North Korea. They are getting wrong training. You know those white men that trained them, some of them trained them. They are North Koreans. Anyway, those details I don't want to give them. So, but for heaven's sake, we are not, Bobby Wine is not a dear leader. He's just a simple servant of the people, and we must prepare for a new president, come what may. For the people out there, for Terry Kuzikiza.
It's unfortunate that we are gathered here today under very disheartening circumstances. Of course, we know that the situation is not going to get any better because we have been seeing all the trends leading towards elections of the 2021 worsening by the day. So this does not come as a surprise. They are simply doing something we expected them to do or we thought they would do. And they are embarrassing themselves more and more each and every day. First of all, just like my colleague, Honorable Mwanga Chivumbi has said, the police is misapplying the POMA, the Public Order and Management Act, because it is supposed to be notification, and notification which they are supposed to take on or which they are supposed to accept, which they have failed to accept. We also know that they are busy violating the fundamental rights in our constitution as stipulated in chapter 4. They is the police and the army. Today we've been engaged in running battles with the police since morning till now. They are violating our freedoms of speech, expression, and assembly. which are very clearly stipulated in our constitution. A constitution of Uganda, which I know so many women of Uganda, with an example of Honorable Miriam Matembe, the Winnie Byanyimas, Tezra Jamwa, that fought so hard to ensure that it respects every Ugandan in whichever capacity they belong to. Today what I witnessed is an extraordinary use of force on ordinary citizens of Uganda. For example, I was still in Kasangati. Of course, we were among the survivors, but everyone was supposed to be up in their cells. Today we saw a woman who was not even close to the scenes, whose child was hit by a tear gas canister, and that child died because of excessive use by the police. Excessive use by the police, which money is the taxpayers' money, because we pay for this, for all these materials. They are basically playing around on the taxpayers' money to kill and torture Ugandans. Yet Uganda has a rising debt as we speak, where we need all this taxpayers' money, where that money should be going to service those debts. The domestic debt currently, as we speak in Uganda, is 54.5 trillion domestic currently. In fact, in 57 years, it's the highest. The foreign debt is close to 30 trillion shillings. While the president and the people around him, Museveni and his team, are busy fattening and getting filthy rich on Uganda taxpayers' money, Ugandans are languishing in poverty, are dying in hospitals, mothers cannot give birth in decent places. We have so many young people that are unemployed, and that is the unrest we have, and yet we do not have this taxpayers' money going into effective service delivery to close the debt burden, nor even to help the Ugandan citizen, ordinary citizen. So you can see how the government has put our country to shame and has made it a laughing stock because of what they are doing. By the time President Museveni leaves, he's going to leave this country in a huge debt, and no one, and it will be Ugandans out there, some of you who keep looking at us and laughing and saying we are doing nothing, you're the ones going to cover up all those debts. So I think that these people need to be called out, and they need to speak about them briefly. Also, as women in Uganda, we are very disappointed in this regime, especially the security forces, because the security forces are supposed to help us, protect us, save lives, protect our property. There was nothing wrong with consulting Ugandans. We all know that most of the women in Uganda access information through public rallies because they don't have time to listen to radios or time to watch news because of the gender roles that they face. So a public rally is the only place where they can get that information. Today I witnessed women dressed in all attire, gomeses, dressed in their long outfits and all kinds of attire, very excited, going to meet their president, Robert Kyagulanyi, Bobi Wine. All those were beaten up today. They were scattered. Do you know how many lives Uganda lost today because of the police? So I think for me, what we have to do as Ugandans is very clear to us. We shouldn't give up, especially I call on all Ugandan women and girls. Do not give up. Teri kuzikiza. These guys, they are simply joking. Police is determined to ensure that we don't hold any event, but we are also determined to ensure that we hold our events because this is our country. It has no ownership. We all belong to Uganda, and we are all going to do what we can. Tomorrow we shall be in Gulu. Let them come as well. We'll keep engaging in running battles until they know that Uganda belongs to all of us, not only NRM, not only Museveni, but all of us. Thank you very much.
Tomorrow and other places and other days we are on. Our program has not stopped because we are in compliance with the law. I thank you and now invite Honorable Chibumbi.
Dialogue between police and change-seeking forces in this country. I've had a meeting with the Minister of Internal Affairs, General Jeje Odong, a couple of months ago, one-on-one, emphasizing that as we move towards the general election there is need to ensure that the rights of people to freely associate and assemble are not interfered with. The last time we had this general meeting was within the Committee of Defense and Internal Affairs. We had a long dialogue with the Minister of Internal Affairs, Ebige Kanya, the Deputy IGP, Mzee Sabiti, and all other heads of the police. We agreed on the following: that one, every organizer of an activity sticks to the demands of the law for what the law says. We know the Public Order Management Act, which I know by letter because while they were making it, by then I was still a member of Parliament and I was very active. We agreed that all organizers of political activities abide by the law. And you are conceiving it in the manner for which Honorable Kyagulanyi has conceived it. Independent, without a known political infrastructure, then that person needs to be accorded every opportunity to traverse the country and consult. Maybe during the consultation, the people of Uganda may tell him, you are not ready for leadership. Stay as an MP of Chadondo. This is what he's going to do. Or the people of Uganda will tell him, we are ready for you to receive you and you think you can go ahead and stand and we will support you.